Very good evening to you all. Today I will be talking about zeptocapsulotomy or the pulse precision capsulotomy system. This technique is helpful in making us have quick anterior capsulorhexis. It is reproducible and precise. It has a very small console here as we can see in this picture, and therefore it can be placed in the same OR. It is also relatively inexpensive when we compare it to the femtosecond laser. This is especially useful for patients who have corneal opacities and poorly dilating pupils, as even femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery can be really challenging in these patients. How does this device work? We have a handpiece on which there is a silicone suction cup which houses a nitinol ring. This is the nitinol ring through which the electrical discharge passes through and leads in a cut of the capsulotomy. There is a push rod which can change the shape of this suction cup. When the suction is delivered, that precision pulse capsulotomy device attaches itself to the anterior lens capsule. Then we deliver a short electrical discharge for just 4 milliseconds, which energizes the nitinol ring. This causes rapid phase transition of the trapped water molecules and instantaneous mechanical cleavage of the anterior capsule. What can we expect with this device? That we have a perfectly round 5.2 millimeter in size rhexis with upturned margins which resist tearing. So in cadaveric eyes, it has been demonstrated that the capsulorhexis that we attain with Zepto is actually stronger than manual and femtosecond laser, and it resists tearing a little bit more. What does the literature tells us? So this is a study which compares the precision pulse capsulotomy versus the manual technique. And here, especially in patients who require toric IOL, the residual cylinder was less than 0.5 diopter, which was significant as compared to the manual group. This is another paper on Indian eyes published by the LV Prasad group, and they compared the femtosecond laser, the manual, as well as the Zepto technique, and they concluded that there was no difference in the visual outcome of the patients. Now let's look at the surgical videos. Here I have a mature cataract, mature white cataract, and as Dr. Naushir has wonderfully demonstrated, it is very challenging to do a manual capsulorhexis in these cases. So here I'm using my Zepto device. When we go in, the shape is oval so that we can easily enter through a 2.2 millimeter incision. Once we are inside the chamber, we can center the device, retract the push rod so that we have a nice circular suction cup. Then we attach it to the anterior capsule and keep the suction on. We see these bubbles moving. Once these bubbles become stable, it means that we have achieved adequate suction, and this is the electrical discharge being given. Then we release the suction and we have a nicely cut round capsulorhexis at the end of this. Now, this is another case. Here we have a relatively, regular cataract with NS2 nuclear sclerosis. And again, we are using the Zepto capsulotomy device. A tip to center this device is to look at the Purkinje image. That's how we can achieve a good centration. Initially, there might be a tendency towards making nasal CC as we likely to do temporal clear corneal incisions. So again, by the end of this, I have removed the Zepto device, and it looks like we have a nice round capsulorhexis. But notice here, as soon as we are going ahead with our hydro procedure, we tent up the capsule and we push in the fluid. This anterior capsule just gives away and it tears. So this probably happened because of overinflation of the bag. And this is what the capsule looks like. At the end of the surgery, this is the IOL in place. So this can happen with this device. Now, this is another case of a mature intumescent cataract where a toric IOL has been planned, and we are using the Zepto device to create a rhexis. We can see how intumescent this lens is by the sheer amount of cortex that comes out. And once we are done with this, we examine and we see that there is a tag here actually which remains uncut, and the Zepto has not been able to achieve a round rhexis. So we go ahead and nick it with the scissors and then lift the flap and using the forceps. Again, there is another flap which we can see which is floating. So we do not want to have this while doing the phacoemulsification. So we remove that flap as well. So we have a slightly larger than what we would like, slightly eccentric rhexis. this is a case where we have a very calcified anterior capsule, a complicated cataract post RK. So our incision is a little limbal, small pupil as we can see. So very, very difficult to do a manual rhexis. So we thought we will go ahead with the zeptocapsulotomy device. And this fibrotic plaque actually remains uncut even with the Zepto, although the Zepto has managed to cut everywhere else, but this fibrotic plaque has not been cut very well. So then we decide to place in the Malagin ring after the Zepto, because we did not want too many instruments in the anterior chamber. And then this residual fibrotic plaque is actually being excised with the help of forceps and scissors. And then the surgery could be completed with ease. Now we have learned that this means that Zepto cannot cut the fibrotic plaque. So this is a patient again where we have a mature, hypermature cataract with this calcified fibrotic plaque. So here we planned for an eccentric rhexis so as to keep this entire fibrotic plaque inside the rhexis and not at the edge, so that we can achieve a clean cut. So we were successful in doing this, and this on suction release, we can see that the entire plaque has come inside this Zepto device, and it is inside the rhexis opening. And although we have an eccentric rhexis which was planned deliberately in this case, the surgery could be completed with ease. Now, this is a patient with an intumescent cataract, and we are always scared of the Argentinian flag sign in these cases. As soon as we apply the suction, the capsule just tears. But the interesting thing was that the tear is limited within the suction cup of the capsule, and it doesn't extend to actually form the Argentinian flag sign. Now, again, it was a little difficult to release the suction in this case, and the nucleus somehow got stuck to this suction device. And then with repeated attempts, we could finally release the suction and remove these tags and go ahead with our phacoemulsification. So these are some of the things that can happen, although it's a very good system, but still we can have these kind of cases where we have a few complications. So the take home message here is that the safe and precise capsulotomy device, especially useful in intumescent cataracts, patients with calcified capsules, or patients with corneal opacity. We must try to keep the handpiece well centered, focusing on the first Purkinje image, and there might be a tendency towards making nasal CC in temporal incisions, especially in the first few cases. A gentle hydrodissection or decompression before hydrodissection might be ideal, as we saw from the case there that we did hydro, and suddenly, because of the increased pressure in the bag, the anterior capsule gave away. A word of caution in patients with weak zonules, although even the manual rhexis is very difficult in patients who have zonular dialysis, and this device appears to be safer in patients with weaker zonules than flax. Thank you for your kind attention.